Hi, guys, and welcome to Work, Earn, and Play from Home. Are you someone who works 9 to 5 in an office and wanted to transition to a home based environment? Or a fresh grad who wanted to jumpstart your career? Stay tuned because in this video, we'll be taking a look on how to get started or land your first ever home based job. Let's go. In line with the recent changes to the whole world dahil nga sa pandemic, a lot of companies and or workers are now exploring working from home. At napapaisip sila na, hey, this is actually a viable thing. But like any other jobs, merong mga specific requirements that you have to meet in order for you to get started. Just like, number 1, a computer or laptop. Number 2, where to apply. Number 3, what type of job or gig na gusto mong iland. Could be part-time, full-time, or project-based. Let's start with the hardware requirements. Working from home seems to be a pretty simple idea, right? Pero, setting up your computer is not, especially when you're starting from the bottom. That means na wala kang computer, you don't have a stable internet connection, among other things na kailangan mo to get started or land your home-based job. So before you start thinking of applying for a job, keep in mind the list of requirements or hardware requirements na you have on hand. A decent computer, a stable internet connection, and a quiet office as an option. And by the way, requirements may change depende sa job na gusto mong makuha, especially if may specific job ka na gustong iland. With that being said, having a basic computer is not gonna cut it, okay? So that's why I specifically mentioned na kailangan mo ng decent computer to get started because this will help you on your day-to-day activities. So I would suggest you grab a dual or quad-core processor na at least merong 2 to 3 gigahertz and 8 gigs of RAM. For the processor, think of a processor as a hands that you use. Okay? The more hands that you have, the more cores that you have, means na mas marami kang magagawang task. And then yung gigahertz niya is yung speed. How fast can you do your job and how many jobs you can take at the same time. So that's why it's critical na kailangan mo pag-isipan kung anong processor ang gusto mong kunin sa laptop mo. Next is RAM. Sometimes yung mga requirements online would only ask for 4 gigs of RAM, right? But based on experience, 80 to 90% of the time, you're using Google Chrome. And Google Chrome, as we all know, is a very RAM-hungry application. So, and you're also opening multiple tabs at the same time, meaning kailangan niya talaga ng napakalaking RAM space. So, even if yung requirements ng employer nyo would only ask for 4 gig, I would suggest go for 8 gig because future-proofing is the key. You might want to spend 10K now for a decent computer, okay, extra 10K for a decent computer now, then spend another 20K next year to upgrade your computer and or maintenance. Let's go. Other than a decent computer, you also need a stable internet connection. And to be honest, I can't imagine a house na walang internet connection nowadays. Whether it's mobile data, wireless connection, or hardline fiber or ADSL, you would need this. This is also a hard requirement to land your job. Going back sa topic sa internet connection, specifically, let's discuss the hardline fiber or ADSL connection. I would suggest getting a 5 to 10 Mbps connection for decent connection, and also a router that can control the internet traffic. Now, the router is not a hard requirement, but a quality of life to control the speed, especially if di lang ikaw yung gumagamit sa buong house nyo, because you don't want a scenario where you are on a very important meeting with your client and then your brother or sister mo decided to download a 4K video of their favorite series or movie. That would be a disaster, right? And pro tip, before applying for the connection, you might wanna look around sa community or neighborhood nyo kung sino ang may connection. In our case, it's either Globe or PLDT. Then run a speed test in their connection every 1 to 2 hours for at least 24 hours para malaman nyo kung gaano ka-stable yung connection sa location nyo. So let's go with the quiet office. Hindi rin to hardware requirements, optional din to. A quiet office would easily land you a call center gig, a sales gig, or a teaching gig, ASL, right, online. Quiet office would also minimize the distraction na galing sa family and friends mo. With that being said, this is still optional because hindi lahat ng jobs kailangan ng quiet office. But this is for your convenience sake, because when you're doing something, you don't want to be distracted. Having a quiet office is a good option, okay? Para naman, at least when you're working from home, walang bata na sumisigaw sa likod, or walang kuya mo at yung sister mo na nag-aaway sa background. So, yun lang. But if I may share my first-hand experience, when I applied for my first ever home-based job, wala akong computer, but I have a stable internet connection. So I did my interview sa phone and promised them that if I get the contract today, I'll be happy to grab or buy my first computer the next day. And luckily, they gave me a chance, and the rest is history. So I'm not saying that this would work for everyone, but hey, it worked for me. So thank you. So the next topic is where to apply. So there are multiple ways of applying for a home-based job. Ang pinaka-common dito sa Pilipinas is through online platform such as Upwork.com, onlinejobs.ph, and various or maraming Facebook group out there. So I wouldn't go on details on which one is the more secure. That should be a topic on another video. So comment below if you want me to dive deep on that topic. Okay. Pro tip: do your research on the job post and the company behind that job post. Maraming scammers out there. An example of a scam is they asking for your test work, and that's already the job description itself. So beware of scammers lang, guys. Ingat-ingat din. Another way is through referral from a friend or acquaintance. They're probably working full-time and or connected to a stable online company. And if you take it through my experience, this has a lesser chance of getting scammed. And yes, my first time was through referral. A friend of mine referred me over to their company, and then there is this history. And as long as you like the job description and you trust your friend enough, then I'm pretty sure you're gonna get a very good hand. Pro tip: most of the company has a referral program if you hit like 2 or 3 months on a company. So you might wanna discuss that with your friend, okay? But again, this is just most of the time, not all the time. So don't hassle your friend naman if sinabi nilang wala talaga, di ba? Your friendship is still more valuable than the money that you earn through referral. So you got your hardwares. you know where to apply. The final step is what type of job you'd like to take on. So this could be a project-based, part-time, or full-time. Project-based is you get paid per project. A good example would be web developer, graphic designer, and more. This is really good kung may specific skills ka na you're really good at and you get to control the tempo of the project. And you can put on a price of the amount of work na i-exert mo for this project. Just make sure that you get the job done, you cover all the angles, and scope the project well. A lot of freelancer falls to this trap because they bite more than they can chew. Part-time allows you to commit less than 40 hours a week of your time to a company or a project. Usually they take 2 or more projects at the same time that would equate to 40 or more hours in a week. This is a very lucrative type of setup, and but at the end of the day, it's still going to be depending on the agreement that you have with your boss. If you're planning to take a piece of a pie in this industry, you need to have good self-control and a better time management skills. Yung gusto mong iwasan dito is to interfere yung 2 jobs or 2 gigs na kinuha mo and your personal life. Make sure to have breaks or leeway in between jobs, and make sure to have self-care. So this is a very demanding setup, but again, it's very lucrative if you had what it takes. So the final piece to the puzzle is the full-time job. So if you haven't picked it up yet, this is the first home-based setup that I land, or first home-based gig that I land. And it started slow and low in terms of performance and pay, but as time goes on, it started building up. Now, this will require you to log in 40 hours a week or 5 days a week as well. And yeah, this is really good. The good thing about this setup is you have a support system. You're probably on a very stable company, which means that you have employees that you can relate to and you can connect with. You have HR, you have a manager, you have someone to rely on. Same pa rin ng same ng having a regular desk job. This is really good if you're starting, because that support system is really crucial on the early stages of working from home. Ironically, ma-homesick ka when you're working from home, and trust me, based on experience, it does happen. So my recommendation, if you're starting, go with a full-time job, because this would build you up. And if you're a specialist, go with a project-based setting. However, if you have call center experience and administrative experience on a BPO or a bigger company, then go with part-time. You can't go wrong. Either of those 3 would work for you. So guys, I hope this guide helped. And for bonus tip, I would highly suggest you work on your communication first before your skill. You'll be surprised on how many company ang pipiliin yung mayroong good communication skills over a specialized skill. And to recap, we've discussed hardwares, where to apply, and what job to take. So thank you so much for staying, and I hope to see you on the next video. So this is Christian from Work, Earn, and Play from Home, and I'll chat to you soon. Peace out.